Of the 2 million species of animals on Earth, about 1.2 million are insects. But among them, there are some with incredible hunting abilities, not the usual suspects like mantises or giant hornets. Some are even scary enough to attack humans. Even as you're lying down watching YouTube, these creatures are out there hunting for prey. Ever seen a spider that looks like an Oreo lying on the ground? It's like it's begging humans to touch it, but reaching for that Oreo on the dirt might spell disaster. It snatches its prey with powerful legs and drags it underground so fast you won't even see it coming. That unique pattern, like an ancient coin, is actually the body pattern of the trapdoor spider. Its flat body, almost as if cut in half, features mysterious markings that vary by species. Thanks to its body shape, it has many names like hourglass spider, money trapdoor spider, and stamp trapdoor spider. Let's see how these guys hunt. There was only a beetle in sight. Then suddenly, the ground shakes and a leg appears. The beetle, still unaware, eventually gets grabbed by the trapdoor spider's sturdy leg and disappears underground. These spiders dig traps, disguise the whole entrance, and lie in wait to quickly snatch any prey that comes near. Thus they're called trapdoor spiders.
I get how it hunts, but why is its backside so intricate?
I wondered about that too, but nobody knows for sure yet. One theory suggests that after digging a deep hole, they make a pouch-like trap by mixing spider silk with mud. When threatened, they use that coin-like backside to block the entrance like a manhole cover, or shrink their belly when prey steps on it, causing the prey to fall into the trap. But sightings of this are rare, and trapdoor spiders are so elusive that encountering one by chance is incredibly unlikely. That's why a video of someone stumbling upon a trapdoor spider has hit over 14.37 million views. Check it out. In the dark of dawn, a man finds a round hole on the ground and starts digging it out with a knife. As soon as the hole opens, a spider inside scurries out, perhaps thinking prey has arrived, but upon seeing the man and his flashlight, it freezes for a moment, then retreats further back.
Imagine a giant creature opening your front door and staring at you out of nowhere.
Thinking of it that way, this must have been a horror moment for the spider. Isn't it fascinating how perfectly cylindrical the hole is? The spider has been around in China since the 5th century BC, yet sightings are so rare that spotting one is like winning the lottery. Its unique patterns and appearance make it a popular pet spider. They're pricey, and in Thailand, a farm even breeds them for export. They stay underground most of the time, so people joke that owning one is like taking care of dirt rather than a spider. Although it has venom, like pet tarantulas, it doesn't pose much threat to humans. Being bitten would hurt, but it's not life-threatening. Ever heard of the lacewing? It's often mistaken for a dragonfly, but it's not a dragonfly at all. It even resembles a mayfly and looks incredibly fragile. But did you know that when it's a larva, the lacewing is one of the most fearsome hunters in the insect world? The lacewing larva is called the antlion.
Wait, what? How can it look so different?
In fact, the larva, antlion, is so well known that it's often the first insect that comes to mind as an ant predator. Before it pupates, it digs a funnel-shaped trap called an antlion pit, where it catches and devours any insects that fall in. In a sandy area, it digs a pit that slants inward, and as soon as an ant falls in, it grabs it with its pincers and throws it down like a wrestler, performing a suplex until it dies. Ants are actually quite durable among insects, but the antlion is remarkable for killing them just by throwing them around. But it's not as if it has a huge size advantage. The antlion is similar in size to ants, usually around 5 millimeters, though some can be 1 to 4 centimeters. The funnel it creates is also called an antlion pit. If an ant tries to escape, the antlion uses its pincers like a shovel to toss sand, sending it back down. Although it has big jaws, it doesn't chew the ant. Instead, it sucks out the ant's juices, leaving only an empty shell, which it throws out of the pit. As the antlion larva grows, it digs larger pits and goes after bigger prey. A large insect falls into the antlion pit. As it tries to climb up and escape, the antlion keeps shoveling sand, preventing it from getting out. The insect flips upside down under the constant barrage of sand. Finally, it tumbles all the way down to where the antlion grabs its body and legs with its large pincers. The trapped insect struggles, but as it exhausts itself, its movements slow and it sinks further into the sand. Once caught in an antlion pit, there's no escape.
That antlion's persistence is insane. Couldn't the bug just fly away?
Yeah, maybe it was a non-flying insect, but it's not super tough or particularly agile on land, so without its trap, it can actually fall prey to others. Plus, the antlion is blind, so if something falls in, but stays still, it won't attack. Some even manage to survive by waiting for dew to harden the sand, then climbing out. Catching an antlion is simpler than you might think. A person spots several funnel-shaped pits in the ground, takes a straw, and approaches one of the pits. He blows air into the pit, and suddenly, the antlion, hiding below, gets disoriented and tumbles out. If left alone, it'll quickly dig back into the ground and disappear. Ever heard of a bug that blasts out gas at 212 Fahrenheit to hunt? It's a beetle called the bombardier beetle. About 1.2 to 1.5 centimeters in size, you can find it in damp areas, where it's also known as the fart beetle. That's because it can release intensely hot toxic gas from its rear end. The temperature can exceed 212 Fahrenheit. It's one of the few insects capable of long-range attacks, and it doesn't stop with one shot. It can rapid fire up to 29 to 70 times in quick succession.
At that point, isn't it basically a machine gun?
Pretty much. It's almost like a gun. Its range is about 60 centimeters, which is 40-60 times its own size. It can even aim when ants cling to its body. It'll aim and shoot itself to shake them off. Check out this video. When an ant climbs on it, it first tries to shake it off with its hind legs, but the persistent ant gets a direct blast. See that smoke spread instantly. The ant is hit by the gas and drops immediately. Other ants that try to climb on it get the same treatment. Interestingly, the bombardier beetle is immune to its own gas, but most insects that get hit by it face a 99.9% mortality rate. Even small animals like mice or frogs can be fatally affected if it hits sensitive areas. Even humans can feel intense pain if hit, and it can cause blindness if it gets in your eyes. Charles Darwin once had an encounter with one. While collecting beetles, he put a bombardier beetle in his mouth in a hurry, and it exploded, burning the inside of his mouth, forcing him to spit it out.
How did he even think of putting that in his mouth?
Yeah, that's something in itself. If you're impressed by the bombardier beetle's powerful gas, hit the subscribe button. Did you know there's a terrifying worm that supposedly chops off a male's genitals with its jaws? Though that was later debunked as a myth. But the fact that such rumors exist is due to its horrific appearance. A fish and a worm are facing off. Ordinarily, you'd think the fish would eat the worm, but then the worm stretches its body and grabs the fish's mouth, pulling it in. The captured fish can't move, and in seconds, it's dragged into the ground.
The worm catching the fish. That's some reverse fishing.
This reverse fishing worm is known as the bobbit worm, also called the giant sea worm. It's only 2 to 3 centimeters thick, but it can grow up to 3 meters long. And with its shimmering iridescent body and fierce jaws, it's quite a sight. Its name comes from an incident in the US in 1993, where a woman named Lorena Bobbitt famously cut off her abusive husband's genitalia. Back then, some researchers hypothesized that female bobbit worms cut off the male's reproductive organs after mating with scissor-like jaws. The bobbit worm lives in tidal zones, burrowed into the seabed. It reveals 5 feelers and waits with open jaws, grabbing anything that comes near. Its jaws look incredibly sharp. It doesn't avoid even poisonous fish like pufferfish. As the pufferfish slowly moves above, its tail brushes against the bobbit worm's feelers. And in an instant, the pufferfish is dragged into the sand, kicking up a huge cloud of dust. The fish tries to puff up but can't escape. Despite its intimidating looks and ruthless hunting style, it's not very agile and lacks eyes, making it easy to miss prey. It's venomous, but not dangerous to humans. So if you see one, you don't have to worry. If you found this info on bobbit worms helpful, smash that like button. Ever heard of an insect that turns cockroaches into zombies? Meet the emerald cockroach wasp. It fearlessly hunts cockroaches much larger than itself, biting the head and injecting venom directly into the brain. This venom paralyzes the cockroach's nervous system, turning it into a zombie. Once zombified, the cockroach does nothing, even as the wasp bites its antennae and drinks the fluids inside. The wasp lays its eggs inside the cockroach, ending with the cockroach's slow and horrifying death.
No way. This exists in nature. Nature. You're terrifying.
It's intense. For this reason, it's sometimes called the cockroach wasp. Its signature metallic sheen makes it stand out. The wasp injects neurotoxin into 2 key spots, paralyzing the cockroach, then bites off half of each antenna to dull its senses and control it. It then drinks the antennae's juices. The wasp drags the zombified cockroach to its burrow, lays eggs between its legs, and seals the entrance to protect it from other wasps or predators. Look at this cockroach being dragged by the wasp. The wasp bites its head and pulls it along into the burrow. Since the cockroach isn't fully unconscious, its legs move as it's dragged, which looks haunting. The larva hatches, feasting on the cockroach's insides, then spins a cocoon inside its hollowed body to grow into an adult. The cockroach is used to the very last shell. Though it's a wasp and it can sting humans, its venom is mild, as it's designed to paralyze rather than harm. The wasp is calm and won't sting unless provoked, so if you meet one, just let it go. It might help you out by catching cockroaches.